Welcome back to So You Really Want to Learn Latin. And today I have another of my guinea pigs. It's back to Emmy O.
Hooray!
Now then, today we are going to be looking at adjectives. And I'm going to run through how adjectives work, and then we're going to see if my guinea pig can learn how they work.
Okay.
And if they do...
Then I'm allowed supper.
She's allowed supper. Okay, right. Now, as you almost certainly remember, adjectives describe nouns. And in fact, we have a little video on English adjectives. So go to our little playlist on English grammar for learning Latin, and you can remind yourself how adjectives work. But in terms of how they work in Latin, we have so far learnt two different types of noun. Mm-hmm. Well, in fact, we've learnt three types, really. We've learnt first declension nouns. They go like mensa, and they are predominantly feminine. Mm-hmm. We have learnt masculine nouns, second declension masculine nouns, which go like annus, and they are predominantly masculine. And we've quite recently learnt second declension neuter nouns that go like bellum. Okay, blum, blum, blum. Right, so we've got three types of noun endings that we're familiar with. There are the kind of masculine us ones, there are the feminine ones, and the neuter ones.
Okay.
Well, that's jolly handy, because we're now going to learn our first Latin adjective, and it is bonus, which means, what do you think it means?
Good.
Yeah, you see, it's all there. It's like falling off a bike, isn't it?
Falling off a bike, which is the only thing I can really do on a bike anyway.
She can fall off a bike. Okay, so bonus means good. Bonus has a set of masculine endings, it has a set of feminine endings,
Okay.
and it has a set of neuter endings.
Interesting.
Okay, so that's how it goes. I'll show you in more detail in a minute. But why does it have all of those different types of ending? The reason is that there is a lovely little rule about Latin adjectives, which is that an adjective in Latin must agree with its noun in number, gender, and case.
Okay.
Right. Now, can you remember what number means?
Plural or singular?
Very good. We often say singular or plural.
Yeah.
Gender.
Yeah. Male or female or neuter?
Yeah. Masculine, feminine,
yeah.
or neuter. And case.
Table o table, table. Nominative, accusative, vocative was before accusative.
It was.
Etc.
Etc. So the cases. Right. So an adjective in Latin agrees with its noun in number, gender, and case. And by agrees with it, what we mean is if the noun that the adjective is describing is, for example, accusative masculine singular, then the adjective must be accusative masculine singular.
Matchy, matchy.
Matchy, matchy. So, with that little principle tucked away in your mind, we just quickly show you how bonus works. Okay, and it's really, really easy. The masculine of bonus goes exactly like annus. Okay? Now, can you remember how annus goes?
Annus, anna, annum, anni, anno, anno.
Keep going.
15 years old in there.
Plural.
There's more.
There's more. Let's have the plural.
Anni, anni, anno, annorum, annis, annis.
Very good. Annus, annet, annum, anni, anno, anno, anni, anni, annos, annorum, annis, annis. Very good. And the masculine of bonus does exactly that. Bonus, bone, bonum, boni, bono, bono, boni, boni, bonus, bonorum, bonis, bonis. Okay. Right. The feminine of bonus goes exactly like mensa. How does that go?
Mensa, mensa, mensa. mensam, mensi.
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Mensa, mensa, mensam. Mensai, mensai, mensa.
Mensai, mensai, mensas. Mensorum, mensis, mensis.
Mensarum, mensis.
Mensarum, mensis, mensis.
Very good.
Yeah.
So the feminine of bonus goes exactly like that. Bonna, bonna, bonam. Bonai, bonai, bonar. Bonai, bonai, bonas. Bonarum, bonis, bonis.
Okay.
Very good. And finally, the neuter. Now, the neuter of bonus goes exactly like bellum.
Which I'm not supposed to say as blum blum blum, blee blow blow, blah blah blah, blum please please.
But if you
But
do,
that is how it goes.
it's pretty handy because that
Okay.
is how it goes.
Yeah.
Bellum, 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 belly, bello, bello, bella, 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 bellorum, bellis, bellis. And so bonus does that in the neuter. Okay, so how difficult can adjectives be? Well, of course they can't. You already know the endings. But when you actually use them, you have to be slightly on your toes because of this rule that an adjective in Latin must agree with its noun in gender and case and number, or number and gender and case. We've worked out how bonus goes, and we're now going to prove that we can make our little sentences work using adjectives. Okay, so the first thing, just to check that we're on track, is I'm going to give you some Latin adjectives, and we'll begin with malus. Now, malus means bad. Very good. In French, mal, and probably in...
And in Disney, Maleficent is the evil witch from Sleeping Beauty.
Well, there we go. Okay, and she's bad, presumably.
Yeah.
Thus the Maleficent. Okay, very good. Okay, now, if I wanted you to give me, let's say, the masculine accusative singular of malus, okay, because we might need that, the masculine accusative singular of malus, what would it be?
Malum.
Very good. And if I wanted the feminine dative singular of fessus, which means
Hungry?
tired, very good.
Very
Fessus
good.
means tired. The feminine dative singular of fessus would be...
Okay, give me a second. Fessi.
Very good. And what was going on in her head there is she was thinking, well, how does mensa go?
Mensa, mensa, mensam, mensa,
Genitive. Mensai. Do that again.
mensa, mensa, mensam, mensai, mensai,
Very good.
mensa.
Okay, very good. And let's do one more. What about the neuter ablative plural of iratus? Now, iratus,
Angry?
very good. We get the word irate. So, what is the neuter ablative plural of iratus?
Iratis.
Very good. And what she's done is she said, well, it's neuter, so it goes like bellum, and she's probably gone...
I went straight to blorum blees blees.
Very good. Okay, so that's if somebody asks you to put an adjective into a particular case, that's how we're doing it.
Okay.
The reason they would be asking you to put it into a particular case is because you might be translating into Latin. So, for example, if we wanted to say, of the good master. Okay, now there is a technique here. The technique is, you say to yourself, first of all, what is the Latin for of the master?
Domini.
Domini. You said domini. Yeah, but can you hear? I don't know if the camera can pick that up. She's going mensa. Why?
Dominus.
Why is she? Because it's
Because
dominus.
masters should be ladies.
They should be, but
Okay.
dominus.
Ani. Domini.
Okay. So if you're doing of the good master,
Yeah.
first you do of the master,
Yeah.
which is domini.
Domini.
Then you say to yourself, what case, gender, and number was that word?
It was singular, masculine, genitive.
Very good. And then you give the singular
Yeah.
masculine genitive of bonus, and it would be
Bonnie.
very good.
Do they always rhyme?
Ah, now,
They
so
should always rhyme.
you would, in this case, get Domini, Bonnie. Now, at this stage, they very, very, very often rhyme. And it's kind of logical as to why that is, because bonus takes its endings from the three noun types, the masculine type, the feminine type, and the neuter type, and because its endings are following that, then probably it will rhyme. I'll show you in a sec when that does not work. So we'll just do another one. So if we were doing, let's say, for the master, using dominus.
Okay. Dominus, dominette, dominum, domini, domini. So it's still domini.
Yeah, but it isn't, because that's not how dominus goes. Let's have another crack at that.
Dominus, dominette, dominum, domini, domino, domino.
Better.
So it'd be domino.
Okay, so domino would be for the master.
Yeah.
And now we want to say for the good master.
Domino, bono.
Right, now, you notice what she did there. Well, she just guessed. She said, I'm going to
rhymed.
Yeah, she said, I'll make it rhyme, and it's almost certainly right.
It was right.
It was right. Okay. Now then, let's just see what happens if we were to do, let's say, the good sailors. Okay, so let's have them as the subject, nominative plural, the good sailors. Now we do the noun first.
Which is nauta.
That is a sailor, and we want them in the plural.
So you're tricking me.
Well, I don't know if I am. You were happy to just make it rhyme and guess, and I'm asking you for the Latin for.
Is nauta?
Yeah.
I'm guessing from Mr. Romans, who wouldn't let women do anything.
Yeah.
Nauta, while it ends in
Yeah.
is going to be a masculine word.
It is. Nauta is a masculine noun, despite the fact it goes like mensa.
Okay, so what am I doing?
We're doing the nominative plural, the good sailors. They're going to be the subject.
So we say in that case, nautai.
Okay, there's our subject. Nautai, nominative plural, all going well.
But then. Boni.
Aha, very good.
Nautai boni.
Very good. Nautai boni. Okay, and they did not rhyme.
Yeah. Why isn't it called nautus then?
Well, it isn't. The Latin for sailor is nauta. The Latin for an inhabitant is incula.
If you wanted to, okay, this is a general question.
Yeah.
Sorry if this is off-piste.
Okay.
The way that the masculine and feminine words work.
Yeah.
That's just the gender of the word. Is that regardless of the gender of the person? So if, for example, you had in Roman times this mythical rare being, a female sailor, would she still be nauta bonus, or would she be nauta bona because she's a lady?
It's a really good question.
Thank you.
Almost certainly, I mean, I'll have to go and check for an example of this, but almost certainly she would be nauta bona.
Yeah, okay.
Because although the word nauta, it's not really that nauta is masculine.
It's just that sailors tended to be masculine.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's the same with incula. Now, incula means an inhabitant. It goes like mensa. Strictly speaking, it isn't masculine, it's common. And we talked last time, actually, briefly about the genders. We have masculine for boys, men, and masculine nouns. We have feminine for girls, ladies, and feminine nouns. We have neuter for things. We also have this gender called common, and common simply means it could be masculine, it could be feminine.
So all words in English are common? Because we don't have gender.
Well, no, not quite. All words in English are masculine if they are boys or men, feminine if they are girls or ladies, neuter if they are things.
But we don't have gendered words other than literally the words man, woman.
No, we don't, except a few very rare little exceptions like a boat. You do talk about a boat as a she. And I can't for the life of me think of other examples.
It's just a boat.
Of things
or a country.
Countries,
It's
we talk
often a
about
she.
she. Yeah, that's a good example. A country is a she. One more thing to mention about these adjectives before we go on and look at some more work on them is that there is a rule which is kind of 90% strict, which is an adjective in Latin agrees with its noun, but it also comes after its noun.
Just like in French.
Like in French.
Okay.
There is a sort of slightly loose exception to that rule, which is that adjectives that refer to quantity come in front of the noun, not after it.
Interesting.
The best example of that is multus. Okay, so if multus means much or many, so if we wanted, for example, to say of the many dangers that we have suffered, okay, of the many dangers, danger is periculum, it goes like bellum.
Okay.
And Latin for many is multus.
So you would say pericula.
We want the genitive plural of the
Oh,
of the many dangers.
Periculorum.
Yeah,
But first you would have said
exactly.
multorum periculorum.
Okay, and this is something about Latin. Obviously, the Romans, their brains were so used to their own language, they didn't need to worry about that sort of thing. When we're writing Latin, we always have to remember that the verb goes at the end, and we're kind of trying to say the verb, and then we say, no, put it at the end, so I'll come back to that later. With adjectives, normally they come after the noun, and because the rule is they must agree with the noun, that's actually quite useful, because you do the noun first, and then you make the adjective agree. In the case of multus, you're sort of doing the adjective before you've done the noun, and that's very dangerous, because you might get the gender, case, and number wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to think, what will the noun be, and then pop the multus before that. Okay, now we're going to talk about what happens with prepositions. Okay, now adjectives work really well with prepositions. And we've already learned when we translate both from English into Latin and from Latin into English, we've learned to bracket off our prepositional phrases. Because, as you may remember, a preposition governs a noun in a particular case, either the accusative or the ablative. Okay, so for example, if you want to say towards the island, the Latin for towards is
to.
Well, that's the English. Extraordinary. Let's have the Latin.
I suppose it was to.
Oh, is he? Or you thought that was a Latin word?
Is it not?
Well, it is. To is a Latin word. It means you.
Oh, no, I meant to.
Tio. No, that's not a Latin word. That's an English word.
Okay. What is it?
Okay, so ad plus the accusative means to or towards. It means to in the sense of towards.
Okay.
So if you wanted to say towards the island, you would say in Latin,
Ad insulam.
Very good. Ad insulam.
Ad insulam.
Insulam. It's a very long I, that one.
Ad insulam.
Very nice. Now, if you want to go towards the big island, you're going to go
Ad insulam magnam.
very good indeed. And when we're doing our brackets, because we like to bracket off the preposition with its noun, we now have to sort of keep an eye on these adjectives. Exactly.
Come into the bracket.
Exactly right. Tuck it inside our little brackets, and then it'll be cosy and warm. Okay. We'll do one more of those. So if you wanted to say, we are in great danger, what would the Latin for in great danger be?
Okay. Is great also magnum?
Yes. Magnus means big
Magnus.
or great.
Magnus.
Very nice.
Okay. Right. In periculum magnum.
Right, that would mean into great danger. Because if you remember from our video on prepositions, in plus the accusative means into or onto. In plus the ablative means in or on.
Okay.
So, in great danger.
In pericolo magno.
Very nice. In pericolo magno. And we'll stick them inside the brackets. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I said that was the last, but it wasn't. It was the one before last. Because I just want to do one with a much or many type word. Yeah. Because then it's, because of the order, it goes a bit funny. So if you were walking down the street with many friends, mm-hmm. Okay, Latin for with is
cum.
Very nice. Followed by the
ablative.
Very nice. A bit of a guess.
So it's a total guess.
Okay. So cum plus the ablative means with.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were walking down the street with many friends, you're going to say.
So firstly, friend is amicus.
Amicus, yeah, very good.
So with many friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would say cum multis amicis.
Very nice. And that's right. I hope there was no guesswork there.
No, smashed it.
About the Maltese. Because obviously you're saying cum amicis.
Yeah.
And then you're saying, right, what case, gender and number is amicis? Mm-hmm. And you'd have got two Maltese. Mm-hmm. Okay, so any problems with adjectives?
No.
Just too easy for words? Some people make a fuss about them, but actually, as you can see, they're really, really easy.
But they basically rhyme.
For now, they normally rhyme. I promise you that won't last.
Okay.
when we get on to the third declension,
they don't rhyme at all.
They just don't rhyme.
Okay.
So don't stick to any hope that they will rhyme. Sometimes the rhyming makes you a bit panicky and you think, oh, is it a trick? They rhyme.
Okay.
Okay, but you're right. For now, they sort of do. So, I hope you got the hang of those. Adjectives, pretty straightforward. Plenty more where those came from. And we will see you next time.